Tampa Bay Bucs Super Bowl 55 champ Shaq Barrett coming at you live for NSPN Next Gen Sports. Go like and follow NSPN for total coverage of all team and combat sports, live shows, plus exclusive player interviews and unprecedented sports content creation.
Aren't you loving life in Tampa Bay? Nothing like being defending Super Bowl champs, Stanley Cup champions, American League champions. This is Outkick. Join me every Sunday morning at 10. Let's talk our teams in the hottest sports market in the country. Never too early to talk Buccaneers or check in on all the teams in Tampa Bay. It will be your best hour of sports. The Outkick Show, powered by Guerrilla Marketing. Sunday mornings at 10 on 102.5 The Bone. Sports media has evolved. Introducing NSPN Next Gen Sports, your number one source for all team and combat sports. Live shows, breaking news, esports tournaments, and interactive sports content like never before. Like and follow NSPN on our Facebook page for your chance at this month's fan giveaway contest. And tune in every Sunday at noon for exclusive video access to my Outkick Show interview. NSPN Next Gen Sports.
Hey, Stan Arthur here for the I Love St. Pete Facebook group. If you're a business owner looking to connect with tens of thousands of potential new local customers, you owe it to yourself to get enrolled in our Key Tag Rewards program. Since 2019, we've signed up more than 200 local merchants. Sponsor opportunities are available too, such as our group banner ad and even your own custom key tags. Just go to stpetekeytag.com, get enrolled, and get ready to get busy. stpetekeytag.com.
Stand by. Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to another edition of the Evolution of Sports Talk Television here live on NSPN and I Love St. Pete. It's the Sports Web. I'm your host, Peter Blake, giving you something to think about. And how do we start off this edition of the Sports Web? Bring your passion, bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. On tonight's show, we'll have the legend himself, from a Coach Scout and now media member of Night Sports Productions. It's Sports Mag, serving sports fans out there since 1977. Mr. Leo Haggerty, talking about your Tampa Bay Buccaneers, around the NFL, maybe some Lightning talk as he's covering the Tampa Bay Lightning. And at 9:30, we will have the best professional handicapper out there that I know, Mr. Harry the Greek. And of course, your phone calls, as always, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. It's been a little while, has it not? Have you missed me? I missed you. I've been busy. Of course, we'll get you ready for Bucs versus the Washington football team on Sunday, live from Ducky Sports Lounge, 1719 West Kennedy Boulevard in Tampa. Yours truly, Jason Powers, Blake Anthony, the cast of characters that you all know and love here live on NSPN and I Love St. Pete, getting you ready, seeing if the Bucs coming off this bye week, because I kind of took a bye week. It's nice to kind of once again recharge the batteries a little bit, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to see if the Bucs can start a winning streak in the second half of this year. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get him on. Let's get his theme music. Here we go. All right, guys, former Coach Scout and now media member of Night Sports Productions, Leo Haggerty. Welcome to the evolution of Sports Talk Television. How you doing tonight, my friend? Well, hold on a sec here. I don't know what's going on with our phone. Hold on. Let's see here. Go ahead, try that again, Leo. Hold on a sec, Leo. Hold on a sec here. Let's go ahead and take a commercial really quick. Stand by.
Hey, Stan Arthur here for the I Love St. Pete Facebook group. If you're a business owner looking to connect with tens of thousands of potential new local customers, you owe it to yourself to get enrolled in our Key Tag Rewards program. Since 2019, we've signed up more than 200 local merchants. Sponsor opportunities are available too, such as our group banner ad and even your own custom key tags. Just go to stpetekeytag.com, get enrolled, and get ready to get busy. stpetekeytag.com.
All right, welcome back. Leo, can you hear me?
No problem hearing you, Peter. How about this end?
There we go. There we go. See what happens when you're off for a while. You unplug stuff, you mess stuff up. And, of course, the Bucs kind of got messed up against the Saints, and it comes back to what? Penalties and, of course, turnovers. They get through the bye week. You think everything is okay with their injury situation, and that is not to be. In fact, it seems very pessimistic according to BA. No Gronk, AB, JPP. Of course, that may be a Veterans Day off, but another one added to that injury list, Chris Godwin. How concerned are you going in to this Washington football game? Welcome to the Evolution.
You know what, Peter? Thanks for having me. If this was a game against Green Bay or the Rams or Seattle or Arizona, yeah, I'd be worried. But it's Washington.
Yeah.
They have the worst pass defense in the league, and that's amazing with those guys they got up front. So the Bucs are getting the injury bug bite them, but they got the right team they're playing.
Right. What do you see with this Washington football team? Because they've absolutely taken a step back this year. And like you said, the guys up front, I mean, what does it come down to? What's the story with this team this year?
Well, when you lose your quarterback week one, that doesn't help.
Right.
And again, we saw what Fitzpatrick did down here. So, it's kind of like the little girl with the curl. When she was good, she was very, very good. When she was bad, she was terrible.
Right.
But he had those good games. Right now, they're not getting that. And again, the defense is just not performing as to what they were last year. But let's be honest, Peter, it's not a good division.
No.
Philly's a dumpster fire. The Giants are horrific. Washington is average at best, and Dallas is going to win the division by default. And Denver hammered them last week.
Yeah.
So in Dallas. So, yeah, it's hard to predict what's coming out of that NFC East. But I think the Bucs, as long as they don't implode and do something extremely stupid, they should win the football game.
Should we assume with the signings of Rashard Perryman and Darren Fells today that basically Gronkowski and Brown are not going to play in this game? Is that pretty much what the Bucs are telling us? Because Fells was signed. He's bounced around the league a little bit. He's up there in age, but Gronkowski still trying to get over a punctured lung, still trying to get over a rib injury. And now you also have some back spasms, which is, nothing to write home about. I mean, that's a very painful experience. And then you got Brown, who's out of the walking boot, according to pewterreport.com. But these guys may not play in this game. I mean, should we assume with the signing of a Perryman and a Fells that those guys are not going to play?
It's a logical assumption, Peter. I would I would agree with your logic and connecting the dots. So yeah, and again, if this was week 17 or week 18, I'd be concerned. But right now, Peter, you know what the best thing to happen to the Buccaneers was?
What's up?
Losing to the Rams, because then the undefeated season went out the window. Now all they're doing is to find a way to get to the playoffs. They're playing the long game, and that's what needs to happen.
Now, also on the injury front, Scotty Miller, Sean Murphy-Bunting, and Richard Sherman were all practicing today. Once again, Brashard Perryman was in attendance as well. So what do you make of that situation? Of course, getting Miller, Bunting, Murphy-Bunting back, and Richard Sherman. Big-time plus, right?
Peter, right now, the way this team is going with the injury bug, any type of guy showing up is perfect, you know?
Right, exactly. How concerned are you with the Godwin injury, though? It's a foot injury, so I mean, again, and I don't really understand if Brown is hurt and Godwin is hurt now, and you hear BA come out today and say, we got AB, we don't need, too many letters, OBJ, which would be Odell Beckham Jr. Why wouldn't the Bucs be interested at this point if Godwin and Brown are going to miss some significant time? Brown has already missed some significant time. Godwin, who knows if he's going to play in this game? I get it. It's the Washington football team, but don't you think that the Bucs would be interested in an OBJ?
No, Peter, yet. One of the older NFL coaches told me,
okay,
you can have one diva in the room. You got two of them. Now the coach has trouble because he can handle one. He can't handle two. You're really pressing that room if you put Odell Beckham in there. And again, look what the Browns did without him last week. That's got to be something telling for the other 31 teams going, they got rid of him and looked pretty good.
Yeah.
So, yeah, maybe he's the problem.
Well, again, a guy that has all the potential in the world, but, it's just not consistent enough. And I get it. He's a superstar, and now he has his pick of teams, and, possibly the Saints, possibly the Chiefs, the Seattle Seahawks, the Green Bay Packers would consider him signing him to the veteran minimum. I mean, where do you see this player going?
The logical move is New Orleans, but not now. If Drew Brees was there, yeah. If Jameis Winston was there, yeah. You don't want to bring him in with a third string quarterback who's trying to survive from week to week.
Right.
And now he's got a guy commanding the football in the huddle. No. It would seem New Orleans is logical, Peter.
Mm-hmm.
It would seem that if he doesn't go there, Green Bay, but he may be out of job. Someone may not just take a chance on him because, again, if it walks like a duck, if it quacks like a duck, it's probably a duck.
Yeah, I mean, and again, the locker room, you're exactly right. The Browns, they absolutely blew the doors off of the Cincinnati Bengals, and we're on with Leo Haggerty, former Coach Scout and now media member of Night Sports Productions. It's Sports Mag. It's the Sports Web. I'm your host, Peter Blake, giving you something to think about. And you're exactly right. I mean, does Kansas City become dangerous? I mean, let's go around the NFL just a little bit. You talk about the Browns beating the Cincinnati Bengals. Shall we think now that the Bengals are basically a fraud and their defense is not good enough to make them give them a postseason berth, if you will, because they've lost to the Jets and now they lost to the Browns?
You know what, Peter? The NFL is like that. It stands for not for long.
Right.
And if you go into a game thinking you're going to win just by showing up, a la the Buffalo Bills in Jacksonville last weekend, you're going to get your hat handed to you.
Right.
Because whether you like it or not, those guys are getting paid on the other side of the ball too. They're professionals. And again, that's one of the things I like about the Buccaneers having number 12 under center. because he's been at this 20-plus years.
Sure.
And he will tell these young guys, hey, you know what? Stop reading the press clippings. These guys can play just as well as we can.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And you look at Buffalo and Jacksonville, and Buffalo considered the best team in the AFC. Maybe not. My pick is the Tennessee Titans. I was absolutely floored because I actually had a 2-team parlay. I bet on the Chargers. The Chargers beat the Eagles, and all I had to have was the Rams beat the Titans. I thought the Rams were going to beat the Titans without Derrick Henry, and it really doesn't matter. 2 pick sixes by Matt Stafford. Once again, figure out the Rams, but figure out the Titans at this point. I mean, do you believe, can that defense sustain? Can that offense and Adrian Peterson give them enough for them to be a potential not only playoff contender, but a Super Bowl contender?
Hey, you know what, Peter? Whether we like it or not, they're 7-2.
Yeah. That's amazing to me. It's amazing. That's not only the amazing thing about it. I mean, Matt Stafford basically reverted back to his Lions ways.
You know what, Peter? And again, I'm going to put this out to you.
Mm-hmm. Please.
Tom Brady had a bad game down in New Orleans. You know what? If he has one bad game every 8, I can live with that. I think Matt Stafford, same thing. He had one bad game.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to play in the NFL 17 times and they're going to count what's on the scoreboard, you're going to have 1 or 2, maybe 3 bad games. And that's just the nature of the beast. It's hysterical, Peter, how I listen to these talking heads. and I'm listening to one basically tell me how, excuse me.
You're getting choked up about it.
Yeah, well, this one player that you could see because of his game, and again, I'm talking about Justin Fields, said, oh, he's a franchise quarterback. I said, thinking to myself, Colin Cowherd, you didn't watch the Bucs game because he looked extremely average down here.
Right.
And I think we are, as a media, we jump to conclusions really quickly when we don't have a really good database.
Sure.
And it's just, Peter, when we get to week 11 and 12, that's going to be a pretty good database. Right now, I wouldn't be surprised to see somebody. I mean, look at New England. They're 4-4. Nobody. I mean, Belichick's.
Well, they're 5-4, Leo. They're 5-4 with a rookie quarterback who, by the way, I love Mac Jones coming out of Alabama. Yeah, I made no bones about it. I thought the 49ers should have drafted him 3rd overall. I still believe that. And the way he's played, the way that defense has come together, getting their offensive line back, I'm not surprised. And look, they're 1 game out from the Buffalo Bills because the Bills have been stumbling. Do you think they have a chance to take that division? Or once again, is it, overreaction week 9 with all these upsets to the Patriots have an opportunity to win that AFC East against the Bills?
Peter, everybody's got an opportunity.
Right.
I just don't think it's that big an opportunity because eventually New England's going to come down to playing some really good teams.
Sure.
I mean, really good teams. And that's where, the rubber's going to meet the road.
Sure.
And right now, they're winning games against the opposition that they need to.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what good teams do. They beat teams that are not as good as them. But when they get in against some really good teams, I think we're going to see what actually happens with New England. I don't think Buffalo loses 5 games. I think they go, 12-5. But can New England go 12-5 or 13-4? I don't think so. Well, right now they're 5-4, so I have to run the table.
Right. You have to run the table. I mean, but you got Belichick there. We're on with Leo Haggerty, former coach, scout, and now media member of Night Sports Productions, It's Sports Mag. Going back to it, we talked about the Titans and their surprise. I mean, Kansas City, Green Bay. What did you see out of Jordan Love? I get it. It's a small sample size, but to me, he looked like a rookie quarterback. And I keep on saying this. If the Packers felt like Love was their future, they would have already got done or they would have already gotten rid of Aaron Rodgers. He doesn't look like he's ready to start. I get it's a small sample size, but against a atrocious Kansas City defense, he struggled, right?
Well, Peter, I don't think they gave him a chance.
Mm-hmm.
I never. That's the most conservative game plan I've seen in years. It was almost as bad as the Eagles' defensive game plan against the Chargers. Oh, okay. Let's play a soft umbrella cover 4 and see if he can march down the field. Well, guess what? He did.
Right. Right.
Again, Peter, we need to send to the 32 defensive coordinators Leo's axioms.
Yes. And what is it? What is the Leo's axioms, my friend? What are those?
The first one is, if the quarterback can throw it where he wants to, when he wants to, and to whom he wants to, they're going to win games.
Correct.
And again, that's all Justin Herbert did to the Eagles. Boom, boom, boom. He didn't care about that.
Yep.
And that's what the problem is in Kansas City, Peter, is Kansas City used to load up for those bombs. Now they've got 2 high safeties, and they're so far back, they got to buy a ticket to come back into the game. They are not. They're just saying, you're not going to throw deep ball. We're going to make you work your way. As Hank Stram said, we're going to make you matriculate down the field.
Matriculate down the field. All right, let's go out to some of these comments here. Jim Sutton says, what's good? What's going on, Jim? Long time no hear. Ruth the True Salt and Pepper Peter, I like it. Jim, again, I need TB12 to show up every game. Going back to Tom Brady, people or look at the turnovers. The Saints have had his number, if you will. We talked about this after the game. To me, with Stafford's game or lack thereof versus the Titans, Brady is the MVP. But in your opinion, going back to it, why does he have such a difficult time playing the Saints and Dennis Allen?
Noise.
Right?
Peter, I was in the Superdome.
Mm-hmm.
Every time the Bucs came to the ball, it was between 110 and 120 decibels.
Right.
I have never been in a place as loud as that. Let me give you an example. Jalen Darden is going to run a jet sweep.
Okay.
It was so loud, he couldn't hear the snap count to come in motion to get the ball. Brady, Fournette, Godwin, they're waving at him. Come on, come on, come on. It's like, Peter, that's how loud it was in that building.
Right.
Now, when the Lightning won their first Stanley Cup, when they beat Calgary Game 7.
Sure.
Amalie Arena. The last 30 seconds, the foundation was shaking. It was that loud. I've never been in a place that loud until last Sunday.
Right.
It was loud.
Going back to the Saints, we talk about their defense giving the Bucs troubles, but yet Matt Ryan doesn't have any trouble. I mean, once again, can the Saints sustain with the Jameis Winston injury? Can they get enough from Trevor Siemian or the other quarterback who, once again, his name escapes me. I have no idea why I keep on forgetting this guy's name.
Taysom Hill.
Yes, Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill, Trevor Siemian. I mean, can they get enough out of those players and that defense to really be a formidable opponent in this NFC South? Or they can lose 2 in a row here because the next game they play, I believe, is against who?
Tennessee.
There you go. So Tennessee right now, even without a Derrick Henry, they showed their defense. They showed they got Ryan Tannehill. And finally, they're healthy with an A.J. Brown and a Julio Jones. So the Saints here, they could go on a little skid. Do you see that happening?
Yeah, Peter, I do. I don't know. And I'll tell you what. Jameis was on fire against the Bucs. He was really playing well.
Yeah, he was.
That touchdown he threw was spot on.
Right.
Peter, I'm, as a scout and watching the NFC South, if I'm the Bucs, I'm more concerned about Atlanta because they figured out how to use Pitts in that last game against the Saints. All of a sudden, on first down, there's Pitts split out, and they're trying to cover him with a linebacker or a safety.
Right.
Yeah, that's a mismatch. Guess who they had to put on him, Peter? Lattimore.
Right.
They had to put Lattimore out there. all of a sudden, you got Cordell Peterson. He's running free.
Yeah.
all day long.
And to me, Pitts, when he was coming out of Florida, I didn't necessarily like the Pitts pick for the Falcons. Say that 3 times. I thought they should have went with the quarterback. But Matt Ryan has proved me wrong. He's had a resurgence in this Arthur Smith offense. He's been playing well. And then on top of it, Pitts to me is not a tight end. He's a wide receiver in a tight end's body. He's a mismatched nightmare. You would think without Calvin Ridley that offense would struggle, but they just went right down the field on the Saints. It was amazing.
Yeah, and the Saints look, Peter, again, that's what's so intriguing.
Mm-hmm.
That's my SAT word.
Very nice.
What's so intriguing about the NFL is the metamorphosis. Now, there's your true SAT
Wow,
word.
Metamorphosis. Listen to you, man. You're full of it tonight.
From one week to the next, when it comes to what you play like. I mean, you see the Saints defense pretty much have their way against the Buccaneers, and then Atlanta just shreds them.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Well, Peter, it's so hard to make in-game adjustments before halftime. And if you don't make them at halftime, you're not going to make them in the third and fourth quarter. So, again, there are teams that look pretty much that they don't have a clue because they're not prepared for what their opposition is throwing at them. And again, Peter, let me throw one thing out at you before we go.
Go for it.
The NFL has got to figure out how to deal with Thursday night football. It is bad football. In fact,
it is.
Go to www.itsportsmag.com. Under our You Talking to Me column, that's what we dealt with. Does the NFL need to mandate a bye before a Thursday night football game? They have the ability to do that. I don't understand why the NFLPA, and again, they may be having that at the top of their bargaining list, why they allow that, because, you got the NFL talking about player safety out of one side of their mouth, and then they're playing on a Thursday night after 2 days rest for some of these teams. Look, the Bucs went up to Philly. They played Sunday night. Now they got Monday, Tuesday, got to fly Wednesday. I mean, how good can that football game be? You got 2 days to prepare.
It's ridiculous.
It's ludicrous.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that. And I tell you right now, great segue, because Tom Brady had this to say in his podcast. I think it's pointless talking about playing the 17th game. I thought it was a terrible decision. So I don't like the fact that we're playing a 17 game at all. I think 16 is plenty. You're 8 games into the year. You're not halfway through. So that's kind of a little frustration aspect. Whatever, we'll play it. It's there. A lot of guys probably miss games over the course of the season anyway, so they probably don't play all 16, most guys. But if you're fortunate to be able to make it through a season, you got to play the 17th game. I think there are a lot of things that I would adjust to the offseason, the regular season schedule. A lot of people know my feelings on some of these topics. I've been pretty vocal about the NFL issues over the last couple of years, and some of the things that are done that I don't necessarily think are in the best interest of the game. Does Brady have a point with his comments? I mean, I'm not a proponent of, I like more football, but like he said, having that Thursday night game, having more games, it kind of changes the whole aspect of it. Now you only have one bye week. I mean, really, if you think about it, the NFL doesn't really care about the safety of the game. What they care about is, once again, the bottom line, and that's money in their pockets.
Peter, I couldn't have said any better.
Thank you.
It's just that the NFL, in fact, Adam Schatzlager wrote in his part of You Talking to Me, he said, next thing you know, we'll have Tuesday night football. I mean, think about it.
Right.
Peter, if you give them a bye, then you can play the Tuesday night. I mean, it's crazy.
It is.
To think that, Peter, I played 4 years of college football. Now, I know it was back in the day, and no, I didn't play with a leather helmet. So but,
hey, you said it, not me.
I know. But, yeah, there it is. But when you look at trying to survive from week to week, I know how beat up I was on Sunday and Monday. I can't imagine after playing on a Sunday and then trying to get yourself back to some semblance, another SAT word,
Wow.
of ability to play a Thursday night game. Makes no sense.
All
Makes
right.
no sense at all.
Quick question here. Go ahead,
The
Leo.
only sense it makes, Peter, is the dollars and cents the NFL's making.
That's it. You're exactly right. You nailed it. And here's the thing. What's more disappointing for you? The calls by the refs who have made it a point for this taunting rule, which if you look at it, that Monday Night Football game, in your opinion, was that the right call by Tony Corrente?
Peter, again, I'm not going to put myself in a position because no one knows what was said.
Mm-hmm.
But in watching what was going on, that was a pretty – they were stretching that rule to call taunting. And again, NFL football, college football, high school football, it's about intimidation.
Yeah.
You try to bully the other guy. You try to hurt him. You don't try to injure him. But that's part of football. I'm sorry if that offends people. But, yeah, you try to intimidate and impose your will on someone else. Now, I don't know who the kid was talking to. I mean, he was looking at the bench, and I'm going, why is he getting a taunt? And I'll tell you what, Peter, the flag was late.
It was.
It wasn't. So I don't know if it was his actions,
right,
or his verbiage. That's the one thing we don't know.
You don't, and then you have the referee, basically giving the guy a hip check. I mean, it's so unprofessional, and just the refs this year have been absolutely atrocious. I mean, with this taunting penalty, and I get it, John Mara was, pushing for this, but it just seems like it's a bunch of angry white guys that are upset about kids going out there and playing with some exuberance. I hate to say that, but honestly, I mean, what do you get out of flagging 15 yards for taunting? That is the National Football League.
You know what, Peter? Here's the thing. And again, it's the NFL talking out of the side of their mouth again.
Yep.
I think it's more of a taunting to watch, Lamar Jackson do a flip into the end zone.
Yeah.
Or have a defense run 60 yards to go to the end zone to row the boat.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going, and then you're going to call that. Peter, I was flabbergasted.
Yeah.
I just looked at it and go, I can't talk about it because I don't know what the heck was said.
Yeah.
It had to be something said because there were no actions that I would even have come close to saying was taunting.
How disappointed do you think BA and this coaching staff is in Devin White? And do you feel like he deserved to be fined by the NFL for the taunting and the hits and everything else?
I'll tell you what, the hit on Jameis, I did not think was a horse collar.
Within the rules, and they changed the rule now because you go on Pro Football Talk and they say, 2016, you can't grab the nameplate or above it, and they say that's a horse collar. And I'm like, what's that all about? I mean, when they changed that rule, they need to change it back. It just makes no sense of what the NFL is trying to do. I just don't understand it. I don't get it.
Peter, I don't either, and I don't think he was above the nameplate.
I don't think he was either.
It.
Right. I thought he was below the nameplate too. Agree.
Yeah. So and again, the biggest problem was Jameis got hurt because he was going one way and Devin White was going the other. I think what upset BA the most is they had told their team, look, this group of officials calls these type of penalties extremely close.
Yes.
And I mean, William Golston gets his helmet torn off.
Right.
He runs into the court. He doesn't rough him. He runs into him. My thing is this, Peter. how can you have roughing the passer when the guy doesn't even go down?
He doesn't even go down. He gets his helmet ripped off. I mean, at the end of the day, you could call offsetting, but that's a big critical moment in the game. That's an interception by Antoine Winfield. And basically, the refs should not decide the game, and they're deciding the game. They decided the game in the Bears game. They decided the game with the Bucs. There have been many times this year where the officials have been outside their mind with some of these penalty calls. It's absolutely ridiculous, absolutely atrocious. Speaking of ridiculous, Aaron Rodgers situation, where do you stand, and do you think the National Football League handled that correctly?
No, they didn't.
I mean, did they give him a pass?
Yeah. Well, it's just said, okay, you're going to pay this amount of money. I mean, Aaron Rodgers probably peeled off $13,000 out of his billfold.
That's Jeopardy money, right?
Yeah, I can't believe that the Packers weren't fined like $10 million.
I can't either.
I don't believe that Aaron Rodgers wasn't suspended for a game, 2 or 3 or 4. And again, the NFL doesn't have the cojones to do it.
Right.
I'll tell you what, if that was a backup offensive tackle, he'd be sitting for 3 games.
Right.
And Peter, here's the problem. Okay. And again, I think a lot of people are waiting to see how that shoe drops out in the state of Washington with the former Washington State head football coach and 4 assistant coaches that were fired because they wouldn't get vaccinated.
Mm-hmm.
I got a feeling when that ends up in court, they're going to win that case because until they come out and mandate, the president of the United States says everybody under the age, over the age, whatever, will be vaccinated.
Correct.
Until they make it a law or until they make it an executive order. Right now, it's a guessing game.
Yeah.
And it's kind of hard to go after someone where, yeah, the NFL said, okay, you're going to be vaccinated. Well, I don't want to be vaccinated. What are you going to do?
Right.
You can't. Well, we'll take away your livelihood? I don't know about that either.
Well, you have your protocols there that the NFL Players Association agreed to, and if they're not vaccinated, they're not able to be outside of the team facilities with more than 3 people. That is what the NFL Players Association signed, and I get it. People are up in arms about Aaron Rodgers, but it's the National Football League. It's a private ownership. He should have been suspended for a couple games. They should have been fined more. And to me, like he said, they didn't have the cojones or the testicular fortitude to do what was right in that situation. I tell you who does have the testicular fortitude to come on the evolution of sports talk television. That's Mr. Leo Haggerty, former Coach Scout and now media member of Night Sports Productions. Go ahead and promote yourself, my friend.
Take a look at www.insportsmag.com. We got some articles up there. We took a look at the Lightning's last 2 games. We're going to do our recap every Monday. So the latest one where Stamkos got called for just a ridiculous penalty.
Yeah.
That should have never happened. That they blew that one too. But Peter, we're going to be sitting there Friday night, USF Cincinnati, and I'll tell you what, if there's not 30 to 40,000 fans there for that one, when the number 2 team in the country comes to town, South Florida may want to have to reconsider what they want to do with football because this should be a game where they're turning people away.
Yeah, no, and so that's official. I'll be sitting there with you in the press box, eating good, watching the number 2 team in the country, the Cincinnati Bearcats versus the USF Bulls. Is that right?
Yeah, 6 o'clock kickoff. That's going to be a tough one for you, but
I got to work a little late, but that's all right. I'll be there late. Just make sure you have. Well, we don't have to make sure. The food is right there in the press box. Leo Haggerty. There's one thing you know, or 2 things you know when you got Leo Haggerty on the sports web. Number 1, you're going to learn something. Number 2, you're going to eat right. Thanks a lot for the time here on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. All right, boss?
We'll see you Friday, Peter. Take care, buddy.
See you Friday night. Leo Haggerty, former Coach Scout and now media member of Night Sports Productions. We got the professional handicapper, the best professional handicapper out there, and Harry the Greek. Let me go ahead, read these comments. I see you, Curtis. You called in. I know you want to talk, so we'll get you on here. Call back if you like to. I was on enemy territory, Bucs report, and they blocked me. Well, serves you right. Don't be on there. You're a friend here. Be on the sports web. We're going to have to see the Rams again. I agree with that. I want our defense to step up. They do. But at the end of the day, Jim, they need to get healthy. And it looks like somewhat they are getting healthy at the right time. Sean Murphy Bunting. Tell you what, Curtis, go ahead. Hold the line here. I'm going to read these comments and I'll get right back to you. All right? Stand by.
Bunting.
All right, let's go out to Troy Polamalu, King Troy, Trojan legend. Turn down your phone a little bit. I'm going to mute you right now.
Gotcha.
Evans already said he will give his number to OBJ with no questions, but once again, you heard from BA today, they're not considering it. The teams that are in that chase are going to be the Kansas City Chiefs, the Green Bay Packers, the Saints, the Seahawks, possibly some others. We'll see what happens. According to Pro Football Talk, that decision could come down in the next couple of days. Are the Buccaneers defense getting healthy again after the bye week? They are. We talked about that. We'll talk more. Where's OBJ going? Don't know yet, but those are the list of teams. Love is a bust, just like Zach Wilson. You know, Troy Polamalu, you say some crazy things at this point. Jim, wondering there. Hey, Curtis, I can hear me saying just turn down, and I'll go to you. Just stand by, all right? All right, Bucs report president. We want you back on our team. Our views have gone down the toilet since you left. Very funny. The Buccaneers offensive line was holding up against the Saints. Brady did not play good. Never said he didn't play. Never said the offensive line, although they gave up 3 sacks, but that number is misleading because the 2 were on that last drive there in garbage time. When is Antonio Brown coming back? Once again, according to Pewter Report, the boot is off. So we'll see what happens. Bucs report president, we want to negotiate a new contract with you under your terms, $5,000 signing bonus. All right, yeah, okay. I think I know who that is. Troy Polamalu, King Troy, Trojan legend. Refs are just doing their job, throwing flags, getting paid by Vegas. Jim Sutton, they're handicapping their defense. Jim Sutton again, you are correct. Troy Polamalu, King Troy, Cincinnati 60-0 over the Bulls. Wow. Go Cincinnati Bearcats. Jim Sutton again. I know what you meant. And no way, Jim. USF upset Cincinnati. We shall see on Friday night. But this guy is on Friday nights. I want to get him on, and then we'll go to Curtis right away. The best professional handicapper out there. Let me go ahead and give him some music. Here we go. All right, it's Harry the Greek. Welcome to the evolution of Sports Talk Television, my friend, with his Bears gear on. How did you do last week? And I'll tell you what, let's go to Curtis really quick here. I know you got a question for Harry the Greek. Harry, welcome to the evolution of Sports Talk Television. How you doing tonight?
Oh, Harry, what's up, brother?
What's up, man? Before anybody says anything, Peter, it's going to be a great show. You're going to love this show. Peter.
I love it. I'm having fun.
I'm going to have fun today. How about you? You having fun?
I'm having fun right now.
I'm having a lot of fun.
Load of fun right now. Loads.
Curtis, are you having fun?
Is an elephant fat?
Hell yeah. Now Peter likes him a little thick now, bro.
Hey man, listen, some of these guys out here like them girls with that booty do. That's when their stomachs stick out more than their booty do.
Oh, you know what? Get out of here with that. All right.
You know what just came to mind was the old 2 Live Crew song, and I'm not gonna sing it, okay?
Oh my God!
Big booty. Never mind.
You guys are something else. All right, we got Harry the Greek on. Go ahead, Curtis. Welcome to the evolution.
All right, so listen, let me say this.
Talk to me.
And Harry, I want your opinion on this. Do you think that the whole Jameis Winston injury would have been as big as it is if it wasn't against the Bucs?
No. Not even close. I mean, come on.
Not even close.
And you know, and I got to tell you, man, you know, and I'm glad you asked that question because I've had to put out so many fires regarding this lately. It's not even funny. Oh, the Bucs are dirty. Oh, they did this. Look, man, he didn't. He would have did that to anybody. He had to grab something on the jersey, whether it was a horse collar or not. Who cares? Okay, it wasn't an egregious issue. He felt bad for what happened. Nobody wants to intentionally hurt somebody unless you're an old Los Angeles Raider.
Absolutely.
Okay, but you want to talk about egregious. Look, guys, forget about what it says on my shirt. What the hell was I watching on Monday night?
I have no idea. I have no idea what you were watching the whole year.
I want to certify myself as the guy that can curse out the referees for all the head coaches in the NFL.
I'm telling you.
Lord have mercy.
Please do it.
Because I'm going to tell you something. The way they've been screwing these teams over lately has just been effing ridiculous.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And guess what? As a Bucs fan, I've been on that. I've been on the bad side of those calls.
Sure.
Plenty of times.
We all remember it. You will remember it so well here. Hold on a minute, Curtis. Stand by. Travis, I see you, buddy. Let me put you on hold. I'm going back to Curtis, and we'll come out to you. Stand by, all right?
Curtis, I got to say one thing, man. I mean, you want to talk about somebody. First off, Chicago's offensive line is atrocious. Okay? Atrocious. Okay? The left side of that line has been so decimated. And I'm not saying anything bad about Jason Peters. The man's 40 years old. Let me repeat it. 40 years old, and he's still running guys over like a Mack truck. He's just not as fast to take on the defensive ends for pass blocking. Okay? They finally got someone back on the right side of the game. You want to talk about something I had to watch? That poor kid, Justin Fields,
played his heart out.
Yeah.
It was beyond that. He knew he was going to get crushed in that pocket. It was just collapsing. And he refused to throw off his back foot. He was still stepping into the throws and completing dimes. I was like, this man's got heart.
He's the definition of going out there. That performance he had Monday was the definition of going out there and leaving it all on the table.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that brings me to another point. And there's a reason why I brought it up, gentlemen. The Pittsburgh Steelers were almost a 7.5 point favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Curtis, I have a question for you. I'm not asking the Greek myself, and I'm not asking Pete. Who's a better football team, the Detroit Lions or the Chicago Bears?
I mean, most people would say Chicago Bears.
Thank you. They've already lined up. The Bears beat the brakes off of them. Hold on.
Yep.
Pittsburgh's at home against Chicago Monday night, 7.5 point favorites. You got a winless team in Detroit going into Pittsburgh. You mean to tell me Pittsburgh's only a 0.5 point favorite more?
Wow.
Ooh, that's disgusting, bro.
Yeah.
That's disgusting. And I'm going to give it free on the air right here. Not only does Detroit cover the spread in this game, make a small position, and you bet Detroit to win their first football game this year.
Whoa!
That takes cojones to do.
Yes.
Okay.
We've been talking about that.
Don't even take the points. Make a small position because you're going to get almost 4-1 on your money without the points. Just think about that.
How about this, Harry?
Yes.
We have a little pool. We have a little football pool that we play at work.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the only one that picked Denver.
No way. You picked Denver?
Only one.
Really?
Of course.
Did you really think Denver was going to win, or was that your hatred speaking?
No, Pete. You know I hate Dallas.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But doesn't
listen? Let me tell you something. I'd never pick Dallas to win. Mm-hmm. I don't. Never. But I also know this too. Dallas has not been exposed this year.
Peter, why don't you tell Curtis who else had Denver? Why don't you tell Curtis who Harry the Greek had also with the Atlanta game in New Orleans? Let's talk about some upsets, bro. 9-2, baby. Not picking winners. 9-2 against the spread. Big difference.
Yes, there you go.
Do you do college football as well?
Yes, I went 6-1, but I did not No, I'm sorry. I went 5-2 in college this past week. I did not give those picks out. I don't give college picks out unless they ask me about a college pick live on the air when they call. And there was one person that left a comment over on 1252 Sports when
Right.
it was the Greek and Pete hour on Friday night.
Correct.
The guy asked, "Hey, it's a gimme. Michigan State's 2.5-point favorite at Purdue," and I went, There's something called the 88% rule. When the road team is 2.5-point favorites, for everybody that's out there that wants to learn a little bit of something about gambling, the 88% rule is real simple. If the road team on the day of the game is favored by 2.5 points, bet the home team. If you can't bet the home team because you just don't feel it, then you stay away from the game, because 88% of the times the home team not only covers, but they win. And I got an interesting pick for everybody here, because right now the Kansas City Chiefs are favored by 2.5 at the Raiders. Could be bad.
Oh, there you go. All right, little teaser right there. Curtis, what else? And then we got to go to Travis.
I'll tell you this, and then I want to say something about Aaron Rodgers.
Yes, please.
I won because I picked the spread for I figured I knew Ohio State wasn't going to cover against Nebraska.
Correct.
I think it was 14.5. I knew they weren't going to cover because Nebraska has been playing hard lately. And I knew Alabama was not going to blow the doors off of LSU. I just knew they weren't.
Okay.
That was good.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Definitely.
All right.
Well, I just feel like we got a lot of Alabama fans out there. That team, Nick Saban is always going to be in contention, but that team this year is overrated.
Listen, Alabama is going to lose their first round in the playoffs. Okay, I don't care who they play. They aren't that good right now. Right now, Curtis, it's the Georgia Bulldogs, and everybody else is just going.
Yep.
And I'm telling you right now, that's all they're going to do is go. Georgia goes undefeated this year. They're going to go down as one of the best teams ever in the NCAA this year.
All right, I tell you what, I didn't give you any walk-up music, so here's your walk-up music. Ready? Here we go. All right, Curtis, thanks a lot for the call. Use that second call whenever you like, all right?
All right, brother.
All right, there you go. We got Curtis on the line here. Let's go out to this guy. Let's go ahead and get him some walk-up music. Here we go. Hold on. It's like the old days in radio, you know? Come on. All right, let's go on to Travis Fraley for, of course, of Rocket Sports and Entertainment.
That was the Blues Brothers, my brother. You should have kept playing it, man. I mean, I love them Blues Brothers.
You ready for it?
Yeah.
Come on. Baby, don't you want it, girl?
Oh, listen to this guy right
back
here.
To that same old place, sweet home. It's funny that you bring that on right now because I'm watching the resurgence, ladies and gentlemen, the resurgence of this young Chicago Bulls franchise.
Wow.
Taking on the Dallas Mavericks right now and beating them by 15 going into the fourth. And Harry, I don't know. I know you got a little bit of love for Chicago and back home. Have you been paying attention to this Bulls team at all?
Yeah, absolutely. As a matter of fact, I've been pretty enamored with them. I liked the game they played against Boston. They gave up in a 17 or 18 point lead, and what I witnessed, I've never witnessed ever. I mean, they didn't give up a defensive rebound in the entire fourth quarter. That was just phenomenal.
Yes.
Look, they're going to make some noise this year. They're a really good basketball team. They're going to be competitive. They're going to make the playoffs. This is not a championship caliber team. They're a year away. They're a couple of pieces away, but they are definitely a breath of fresh air for the NBA and especially for the fans in the city of Chicago.
I agree with you.
Absolutely, Harry. I mean, the addition of DeMar DeRozan, you got Ball playing with them too, and you got Vooch, who's really starting to come back. Vooch veteran, and he's a great player in this league.
Wasted in Orlando, wasted for so many years on so many bad teams. I'm happy for Vooch being with the Bulls now. He definitely is giving them that veteran presence that they need, and he's a hell of a good basketball player that once again was overshadowed and wasted with the Orlando Magic.
Yep.
100%. And on November 26th, Pete, you got that opportunity to go see this Bulls team take on that Orlando Magic Club in Orlando. So
you guys want to go?
Check that out. Absolutely.
I'll go. And look, I'll go with you.
Anybody want to go? I mean, I'm going to have to take the missus because let me tell you something. I took my wife to a look. Everybody knows Jamie. She loves sports, and she's a mediocre, basketball fan. I took her some years back when Joakim Noah and Derrick Rose were on the team together, and we went to go see the Magic, and we were sitting relatively close to the court, and she was like this the entire game.
It's a positive.
Absolutely.
Even if you don't like the game as much, but I mean, what's going on in
she loved it.
The excitement, the energy, the music that's going on, obviously with the dancers and the acrobats and all that. They keep it going throughout the whole 48 minutes and the whole game, during, after, any kind of timeouts. It's a fun event, especially from a dogging fight.
You're absolutely correct. But there was another part of the story I wanted to tell you. The Bulls were down by 8 with like 2 minutes to go. It was the longest ride I ever had home, because when we left and we're starting to walk out, as soon as I got into the car and I turned on the radio, and the Bulls are up by 2. And she was beating on me the entire way home. She goes, "Why did we leave?" And I says, "Well, honey, obviously we were bad luck. We were in the stadium. They were losing. What else was I going to say?"
You pulled a Miami Heat fan. That's what you did. You tried to beat traffic.
But bro, seriously, now she never lets me outlive it. Okay, whenever we go to a venue, are we leaving early because they're losing?
Exactly. That's why you never give up on your team. We're on with Travis Faley of Rocket Sports and Entertainment, my Tampa Bay Lightning insider, around the NFL correspondent. Of course, Harry, the Greek of 1252 Sports, one of the best, if not the best, professional handicapper out there here on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television, live on NSPN. I love St. Pete. It's the Sports Web. I'm your host, Peter Blake, giving you something to think about. Guys, what do we make of this situation? We touched upon it with Leo with first, the penalty situation on Monday night is completely out of control. Tony Corrente with his calls, the hip check to the player.
Let's talk about this a little bit, Pete. Let's really talk about this, okay? I don't care about what anybody says from a Chicago perspective. They deserve to lose that game. Most of those penalties were self-inflicted. Mario Edwards, how many games in a row or how many games this season can you have a stupid personal foul, some kind of conduct, 15-yard conduct penalty for just being dumb? And, you sit there and you talk about the taunting call. How about you just turn around and go and run to your sideline and celebrate the biggest player of your career, because you are a nobody, instead of standing there and staring at the Steelers sideline, just doing, being a dumbass. Go and celebrate with your team. Big stop. We got an opportunity, and you get a dumbass taunting call. There's been 33 taunting calls this season so far to 11 the whole last year. It's ridiculous, yes, but the Bears deserve to lose that game on Monday night. It's nobody else's fault but theirs. Don't blame the referees, even though they suck big time. And they missed that personal foul roughing the quarterback on Justin Fields, and I don't know how they did it, but they must be freaking blind.
I'm going to rebuttal to that. I'll agree with you on 2/3 of that. Let's talk about the offside penalties first, okay? Number one, Roquan Smith wasn't offsides. He was 1.5 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Take a look at the footage. One. Sure. Two, forget the roughing and the passer. I understand that keeps the drive alive and he gets an automatic first down for unnecessary roughness. You know how the Bears got screwed in this game, sir? I'm going to tell you exactly how they got screwed in this game, Travis. With the phantom block from the outside the tackles. When they called the touchdown. I'm sorry. That screwed the game up there. Now, the taunting, was he looking at the sideline from 35 yards away? Yeah, didn't say anything. But I can show you 3 other videos when he has sacked the quarterback with the exact same celebration with, by the way, with the exact same referee standing right next to him. Okay?
crazy.
See, a lot of people don't know that. But hang on, do you remember the celebration when he did the spinning back kick? You know, the roundhouse.
Yes, which was awesome, by the way.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
How about what's his name? Blacksmith, the defensive lineman.
Blackman. Yeah.
Blackman. Did you notice? Someone's got to YouTube it because it was hilarious. He was like, "Well, man, if he could do it, I can do it." He tried to do it, fell straight on his ass. You got to see it. It was hilarious. Hilarious.
I see that, Harry. I'm gonna have to look at that one. That's for sure.
Going back to the ref's explanation, and this is from Pro Football Talk.
As a Bears guy, I want them to lose. I want Nagy gone and I want Pace gone because whoever put that offensive line together needs to be fired. Fired. So that's just my take. I think you and Harry are very well-versed or educated on my get Ryan Pace out of there.
Well, no. Ryan Pace should be out of there. Matt Nagy should have been out of there, and they should have been out of there last year. I mean, make no mistake about it. I don't understand how you allow first a general manager to draft another quarterback when clearly Mitch Trubisky didn't work out for them, and it was their fault because they didn't build around him. But that was a bust. And then you draft another quarterback that you're basically going to ruin because you're going to get him killed behind that atrocious offensive line.
Yeah, but that line's getting a lot better, Peter, right now. That line's getting a lot better. They got the right tackle back. He was a 5th-round draft pick. Borum, I think his last name is. Yep. Can anybody tell me the last 2 games who he's had to play against? Come on. TJ Watt. Who was the other guy?
Yeah, I mean, again.
Hold on. I'm going to bring up a point here.
Yeah.
This is how much better it's getting. On the right side of that line, TJ Watt lined up against him, got 3 pressures, 1 sack, and that's all that kid has given up. And by the way, that's his 3rd NFL game, and 2nd one coming off an injury. He's going to be a steal in the draft on the right side. On the left side, right after, they're getting their left tackle back. And Jason Peters can come in as a reserve like he's supposed to be, not a guy sitting there trying to lock down the left side. I felt so bad watching Justin Fields. Well, and
Lazer's helping this team out too by putting in the multiple tight ends and having guys stay in and block. I mean, in one formation in Monday night's game, they had 4 tight ends in the game.
Yeah, I know it was a thing of beauty. That's the 13 personnel to the 10th power. And you know what? I don't like Ryan Pace, but I'm going to defend him with one thing. The man has hit home runs on late-round draft picks. He just sucks at picking early draft picks and sucks at bringing talent into the organization.
Well, that's a problem.
I mean, but here, hold on. That's 2/3 of the general managers in the National Football League, okay? Because there's no guarantee that your first-round draft picks are going to get there. With that being said, he's brought in Khalil Herbert. He has brought in numerous players in the late draft rounds that have been panned out very well. That's where I'm going to defend him. Where I won't defend him is allowing the shenanigans to continue to happen with a guy that can't check his ego at the front door and a Matt Nagy. Yeah. That's where my problem is. Ryan Pace, if you want to continue to have your job, you get rid of Nagy. You bring in a head coach that can operate this offense, because clearly it was not Mitchell Trubisky's fault. That I assure you of.
Well, I tell you right now.
Let me trump that a little bit. I hate using that terminology, but you got to also
you said
remember.
I didn't.
Hey, I represent the trumping.
You got to remember one thing. Trubisky has a hard time reading a defense. I don't know. You know that. I know that. And he couldn't throw the deep ball, Harry.
Oh, yeah, that's because he was shell shocked, and I'm going to go ahead and tell you this again. Twice to the playoffs. Okay, 2 times that quarterback took this team to the playoffs and had a winning record. That's all I'm going to tell you. I am not a Trubisky supporter.
So does Nagy, though. So what do? We get rid of Nagy that's got a over 500 winning record. But it's not all about the wins and losses. I mean, I guess you can't really say that. It's all because it is all about the wins and losses, isn't it? Even though they fire Lovie Smith with an 11-5 record or a 10-6 record, and they showed him the door. But when the team is ready to compete and ready to go for a championship, and this team under Nagy and under Pace is still not there. They're still considerable steps away. And I don't want to keep talking about Chicago Bears football because that's going to bore your.
It's not at all.
It's fun, man. This is what this platform is all about. Travis, we can talk about everybody. That is so nice.
You want to hear on the sports web. It's the evolution of sports talk television, along with the Chicago connection, Mr. Harry the Greek, professional handicapper, of course, Travis Feely of Rocket Sports and Entertainment. Got to ask you about the nemesis of the Chicago Bears, Aaron Rodgers. Did the NFL handle this situation, or did they go light? Travis, go.
Well, it's in the Players Association. It's in the collective bargaining agreement when it comes to COVID, so their hands were basically tied. So I think that was the maximum allotment of a fine that they could have gave the player directly, and what they gave the team. I find it to be ridiculous. Everybody that's in the know and on sports talk radio across the country all think that it's ridiculous. That kind of a low level fine, especially with him being such a deviant in the whole situation. And then I can go into it, but I'm not going to. The league did what they had to do, and they gave out the appropriate fines. Do I find it to be good? No, I don't. I think Harry can agree with me.
Harry.
You know what? I mean, I'm that person that wishes that Aaron Rodgers, has maggots and crabs and crustaceans crawling and crawling out of his jockstrap personally, okay? I could personally care less about Aaron Rodgers, but I'm going to stick up for him right here because I'm one of his biggest critics. I think he's one of the biggest asshats that ever played in the National Football League with his charismatic, I don't care hippie type of attitude. Okay. And he should be actually thanking the National Football League and the fans to be able to support him to be the person that he is. With that being said, it is nobody's business the way that they've treated him. And I understand it's a business, but they got to stop making this political. Whether they're vaccinated or not, I think the mandates.
I think it's political, Harry. He lied. He fucking blamed. Sorry.
Come on. No, all right, I'm immunized. Okay, I'm immunized. Where did he lie by it?
You know it. I know it. And then he goes and gets his medical advice or his vaccine advice from a guy who, the only thing he should really be talking about is UFC or podcasting. And I stole that from Nick Wright, by the way, so I'll give credit where credit is due. So he's getting his knowledge base from Rogan. He's not listening, you know what I mean? You know what I mean by that. And then he's
No, I agree. Travis, I agree with you.
Playing the victim card. Stop playing the victim card, Aaron. You did what you did.
Yeah, you know what? I agree. But
he has shown his true colors, guys. And look, I was on Rodgers' side in the offseason, but honestly, he has showed his true side. He is a selfish player. He will never win another Super Bowl with his type of attitude. It's the big-time difference between Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers and all the other quarterbacks in the league. Selfless.
Hold on a minute. What do you think about Odell Beckham?
What
do you think about Beckham signing if Beckham signs with the Packers? You don't think they're a legitimate shot to go to the?
I mean, they got a legitimate shot, but here's what we know about Odell Beckham: as talented as he is and as he can be, look at what the Browns did without him last week. I mean,
Travis
was throwing the ball around the field.
May I answer and just interject there? Okay.
Yeah.
You want Odell Beckham Jr. and that Green Bay. Let me explain. Let me explain why. Number one, Devontae Adams is the number one. Adam Lazard is still going to be number two, which puts Odell Beckham Jr. with the disposition and the ego of 5 football teams combined, all wide receivers number ones. That ain't going to work. And on top of it, you give Aaron Rodgers, who's another egomaniac. Honestly, that is a recipe of destruction. And second off, they're really not that good. The Green Bay Packers are really not that good. Their run game is overhyped. I like Jones as a running back. Their offensive line is just a smidge better than the Chicago Bears.
Wow.
Their defensive line really isn't that good. Their secondary is pretty decent. It's not bad. Their linebackers are horrible. Okay, give me a break, man. And look,
the corner is out.
Right, and I'm not trying to be biased here because I live in the Tampa Bay area. This Tampa team and the Rams team, it's unfortunate that they don't play in different conferences.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. because that should be the Super Bowl matchup. Because in my opinion, it's the Rams, the Bucs, and I have no idea below that in the NFC.
Well,
And hold on, I'm going to put Dallas ahead of Green Bay. How does that sound?
what about Arizona, guys? I mean, 8-1.
I'll put Arizona ahead of them. I'll put the 49ers. You line up the 49ers as banged up as they are right now, and they would beat the brakes off the Green Bay Packers.
Well, you know how they do that. They run the ball, and they run the ball, and they run the ball right
That's
on
it.
that Packers.
There you go. But the last part of the Green Bay story that I wanted to tell you what I thought about it. For what Aaron Rodgers did, the NFL is going to save face, and so is Green Bay. They're going to fine him, which they already did. Shit, the amount of money that he had to pay, he tips in the course of a week. So there really was nothing. Now, is the NFL going to get really serious and they're going to suspend Aaron Rodgers for it? Possibly.
No
Are they going to go ahead and hold the Green Bay Packers accountable and take draft picks away? I don't agree with that if they did that, because now the fans are suffering in Green Bay, and the team sure as hell didn't do this.
Right.
But then again, if you're a good general manager and you have good management in your organization, I don't care who your quarterback is. Even if it was Tom Brady, if they tell you to stand in line, you stand in line. You don't go out of line and say, I'm Aaron Rodgers or I'm Tom Brady, I'm going to do whatever I want. You don't do that. You could be influential, but when you're told to do something as a directive, you do it. And Aaron Rodgers clearly did not do that.
And we're on with Travis Feely.
And as the head of the Packer football team. I mean, you're the leader on that team. You need to lead by example. And
without question.
And not be deceptive and not be deviant and get behind the team. I mean, you got this is one of your last seasons, arguably the last season as a Green Bay Packer, right? I mean, you should be, standing at the head of your team saying, let's do this. Let's go after a championship. Let's get another one while I'm still here. And I just, with these actions, I just don't see it.
No.
I think they'll be in the top four. I know you guys just went through a list, but I think they'll be in the top four out of the NFC, and they'll be there. So anything can happen once you get into the playoffs. But I did like the old school Raider reference with, I'll refer to Jack Tatum with the, they call me the assassin. I know you went to that early in the call there, Harry. So I'm feeling you on the old school Raiders reference. So
all right, good stuff here. Where do we think that Odell Beckham is going to end up? Do we think he's going to end up with the Packers, the Saints, the Chiefs, the Seahawks? What's the best fit for OBJ in your opinion?
I think he goes to Kansas City.
Okay.
I mean, I think Andy Reid could be able to maintain that a little bit, and if he can't hook up with Andy Reid and make that work with Patrick Mahomes and the rest of those guys over there, I know there's only one ball, but it sure seems like Antonio Brown's making that work over down here in Tampa, where we had some questions about there's only one ball with so many different options. But if Antonio Brown can fit in, you never know. Maybe OBJ looks at it from his perspective and says, hey, this is my only shot here. If I'm ever going to get to possibly win a championship, I better toe the line. Or, I guess Green Bay offered him a minimum veteran contract today from what I read online. So we'll see how that plays out. But, who would you rather play with? Would you rather play with Aaron in Green Bay, or would you rather play with Mahomes in Kansas City? Because you got to look at it from a championship perspective, and Seattle's not a championship team, and New Orleans isn't a championship team.
No.
If Jameis was there, maybe not. I'm not saying they'd be a championship team. If Jameis was there, maybe OBJ would look at it that way, go back home. But sometimes going back home isn't a good thing either.
Yeah, you're exactly right. The likely scenario at this point to me would be Kansas City. They need all the help at this point. Going around the NFL, we're on with Travis Feely, around the NFL correspondent, Harry the Greek here, 1252 Sports, professional handicapper here on the Sports Web. Are we sold on Kansas City? Have they, basically figured out their problems, or are we still asking questions about this offense, namely a Mahomes?
Well, I think it's going to be interesting when they go and play against Oakland. I mean, they had a big play to solidify the Packers game at the end, which was, you watched that game, it was pretty pitiful. I mean, he only scored 13 points on that Packer team when they were getting the ball left and right because Jordan Love couldn't move the ball. I mean, I don't know. Are they back? Did Mahomes figure it out? Well, let's see on Sunday against they do struggle against Oakland, and you heard Harry earlier in the day about the 88%, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
What's that? A 2.5 point favorite
It's got to be 2.5 points, and it's got to be a road favorite. The day of the game, it has to land on 2.5 points. If it is, 88% of the times, the home team not only covers, but they win. It's pretty sick, man.
Harry, that's why I like listening to you, because why you back up your opinions with numbers, and Pete knows, first and foremost, when you listen to me, most of the time when I come prepared, I back up my opinions with numbers, and that's what we do, not only on the Sports Web, but also Rocket Sports and Entertainment, where you can catch not only your great sports coverage, but also music, news, and reviews, and all sorts of good things. We're out at Sebastian Bach over the weekend at Hard Rock Live in Orlando. We went down and saw Metallica last week. We're going to see Metallica again on Sunday. So, check out the site, rocketsports-ent.com.
All right, let me go ahead and get your.
It almost sounded like Travis was going to do the. It almost sounded like Travis was going to do the news and weather together at the top and bottom of every hour. I'm Travis Bailey.
He's so good.
I'll cut you a promo, Harry. You need me to cut you a promo? You want your picks? You got the picks. Harry the Greek. He's the man. He's the best prognosticator in all of Central Florida. Harry the Greek. Peter Blake, Sports Web.
There you go. Travis Bailey of Rocket Sports and Entertainment. Thanks a lot for your time here on The Evolution, all right?
All right, you guys are the best. Take it easy.
Yeah, you too, buddy. And I know you got to run here, Harry. So go ahead and promote yourself.
I love Travis. Travis is awesome. Yeah, let me go ahead and promote myself. Look, guys, thank you so much for having me on, Peter. It's great to be on your platform. I absolutely love talking with you. You can catch me live Friday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central on 1252 Sports Chicago. It's called the Over Under, where you get the Greek and a little bit of Pete. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, there you go. Harry the Greek, the best professional handicapper I know. We'll see you later, my friend. Take care. Take it easy. Let me go out to some of these comments. What's good? Harry the Greek and Curtis. Absolutely. What's good with you, Jim? That was not a horse collar. Come on. Jim Sutton, just wow. The referees. I mean, to me, that has been the story of this 2021 season. The terrible officiating. And it goes back to the taunting calls. I mean, NFL fans, how sick are you of this? 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Let me go back out to the comments. Refs are not held accountable. They're not. They are not. And just to read these comments of what the Tony Corrente had to say, once again, according to ProFootballTalk.com. What if he, okay, that is not it. Where is the comments? I thought I had the comments in front of me. I don't have the comments in front of me. So hold on a sec. Let me go ahead and get those comments because I want to read these. I think they were very interesting. The new rule this year is there should be no contact below the waist to any player outside of the tight end box. And this player initiated low contact to a player outside the tight end box. This is what the ref had to say about it when he made the call. It also wasn't even clear if Daniels ever touched Watt. This is what Pro Football Talk is saying. And what he's saying is, I have to judge there was contact, and that's what I judged. But that's the problem. The replay shows no contact. And that's a critical call. That cost the Bears a touchdown. That's the type of stuff right there that you don't want to have happen. Because when refs decide games, that's a problem. And it should piss you off if you're an NFL football fan. Because you're not there on Sundays to watch refs throw yellow flags. You're not. I don't even know what you can do anymore. When he hit a quarterback, can he hit him high? Can he hit him low? Can he hit him in the middle? We know you can't hit him in the neck area. We know you can't hit him with your helmet. How do you hit him? Oh, you don't. I mean, makes no sense at all, NFL. Makes no sense. So I agree with you. They definitely need to be held accountable at that point. And they're not. And this is the end result of it. I'm not saying the Bears defense shouldn't have lost that game because they definitely killed themselves, as Travis Feely of Rocket Sports and Entertainment pointed out. And I'm not saying the Bucs shouldn't have lost the game because they shot themselves in the foot. And you have to have some self-control. But at the end of the day, the NFL is an emotional game. And it was built on that emotion. And it was sold on that emotion. That's what separates the game. And you're killing the game. Referees are deciding results. Unacceptable. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. I hate the rule. Make it make sense. I mean, you're going to call taunting on a player that, I get it. Devin White staring down Mark Ingram. Not a good look, right? LSU versus Alabama. It's intimidation. They're going to call it. But then he let the whole team go down and do this defensive celebration. Why aren't you calling that? I mean, that would probably be the next rule they call. I mean, it's disappointing. It is. It's very disappointing. So let's go out to Troy Polamalu, King Troy, Trojan legend. Here he also said the Bills would beat the Jaguars. Okay, well, I got to tell you something, Troy Polamalu, King Troy, Trojan legend.
Shut up!
Most of the majority of bettors thought that. Nobody thought the Bills were going to win that game. If you did, congratulations. Or excuse me, the Jaguars are going to win that game. Either A, you don't care about your money because you look at the result of it beforehand. There was no way the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to beat the Buffalo Bills with a rookie quarterback and what's going on with that organization and the injuries they had and lack of talent. Come on. Stop playing. Or you're either a Jaguar fan. And that's the only way you thought that they were going to. But look, that's the National Football League. I fell into it. The Dallas Cowboys, the Denver Broncos. What happened? Well, Cowboys were able to rush the ball with Ezekiel Elliott. In those games, they won. They weren't able to do that versus the Broncos. And then on top of it, the Broncos punched them in the mouth. And they caused mistakes by the Cowboys. And the Cowboys couldn't come back from it. I mean, does that mean the Cowboys are a bad team? I don't know. I mean, they certainly have all the weapons in the world, don't they? All right, let me go out to Curtis here. Hold on. Let me go ahead and get his intro. All right, Curtis, go ahead. Welcome back for your second call here on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. What do you have to say?
Okay, so I just Googled how much does NFL referees make. They average about $200,000 a year.
$200,000 a year to make some of the egregious calls, Leo word, that they've made over and over again.
Egregious is not even it needs to be worse than that. Because listen, Peter, as a football fan, don't get me wrong, I love my Bucs, but I want to watch the game because I want to watch a good game.
I mean, okay? Do you really, Curtis, you're a football fan. You got to go through freaking commercials. You got to go through this and that. I mean, do you want to see so many game stoppages for guys celebrating? That's a part of the game.
I mean, well, that's like the Rams and the Saints, that non-pass interference call. That was the worst non-call, I think, in NFL history.
Sure.
Like and it's blatant.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing that I don't like about the NFL is you can't replay penalties, which I think. I mean, listen, they say there's holding on every down and stuff like that, but when it's a blatant penalty, you should be able to go back and review it because.
I mean, doesn't college football? I mean, the NHL, they do a pretty good job. You see some controversial calls, but usually they get it right. College football, they gotten it right. I mean, that's what it's about, Curtis, is getting it right. Why not have a sky judge? Why not have somebody?
Absolutely. And then the taunting, excuse my French, but that's BS.
Oh, it is.
Because let me tell you something. These guys have bust their ass to make it to the NFL level.
Sure.
And they're out there playing their heart and soul out for their team, and they make a good play. Absolutely celebrate.
Sure.
I mean, come on. If you think about it, Pete, if you were a receiver in the NFL and you scored your very first touchdown on Monday night, dude, you're going to be acting crazy.
Sure.
Like, what?
I mean,
like, these guys are human beings.
They're human beings. It's emotion. Right.
Like, the referees are like robots. Well, they're like robots.
I mean,
and they're supposed to follow the rules, but they don't.
Well, this was put down by the NFL owners in the offseason. I mean, was this the most important thing that you needed to do? Did you need to have all these taunting penalties? Because to me, it's ruining the game. It's ruining the excitement. You know, it takes away. There's critical calls. These type of calls cost teams. And I get it. You know the rules coming in, but I mean, is it really necessary? How about get the calls right? How about we figure out how do you sack a quarterback? How about that? Can you hit him high? Can you hit him low? Can you hit him at all? Just put a red jersey on him.
Well, you know, listen. I don't want to say listen. They destroyed Cam Newton's career. Every time he came out that pocket, he got destroyed.
Well, I mean, look, if you're a runner and you're a quarterback, everything is fair game. But I'm talking about the pocket. But I agree with you. Some of those calls or some of those penalties you could absolutely call for roughing the passer, but they consider right. Go ahead.
I feel like this, bro. Like in the next couple of years, they're going to be like, you can stiff arm, but you can't stiff arm people in the helmet.
Right.
In the next couple of years, they'll probably call a penalty on that. I mean, it's just getting ridiculous. Like the refs are. You know, when I played football, they said my coach always told me you never leave the game in the hands of the ref. But these refs are taking over the games.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not even letting us watch football. Dude, I sat and watched more commercials on Monday night than I watched the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because the refs want to make all the calls. And then you're like, well, what the hell was that? And then if the coach or the player gives his opinion on the call and they think it's disrespectful, they fine him.
Yep. It's you know, they're so concerned about these penalty calls and fining players. You know, I know, you know, Deshaun Watson, he hasn't been fined yet. You have all these players like that haven't been fined for anything, and you're fining a player for taunting. You're fining a player because in an emotional situation, Jameis Winston gets hurt. That's a clean hit.
And could they please leave Antoine Winfield alone for eating a W? Please.
Oh yeah, I heard that too. Yeah,
please leave him alone. He did an interview today on Bucs.com, and he told everybody he was doing that in practice. His teammates can vouch for him before that game. He didn't do it because of Winston on the sideline going down. He did that. Man, what people don't understand about these NFL players, they might be on separate teams, but a lot of these guys are friends. They went to college with each other.
Sure.
They know each other's families. They go on vacations together. Like, they don't hate each other. Like, you know, like you would portray for them too. They don't. A lot of these guys are best friends. And nobody, like, you know, I think Mike Evans did an interview. Did nobody want to see Jameis get hurt? They still love Jameis Winston.
Who wants to see a player get hurt? Nobody wants to see a player get hurt. Nobody.
I think it was Levante David said him and Jameis went hiking in Colorado or something like that. Like, you know, nobody wanted to see the guy get hurt.
No,
it was a mistake. Not all the media, but some people in the media were making it bigger than it really needed to be.
Well, that's what they do. I mean, that's how you sell papers these days.
But like I said too, the fact that it was against the Bucs is what took it over the top.
Oh, of course. And that December, I believe it is December 19th, that second matchup, everybody's going to be watching it because it's a heated rivalry between both of those teams, and that could be for the NFC South. But, you know, as a Bucs fan, you look back at this bye week, everything that possibly could go your way went your way besides Arizona somehow beating a team like San Francisco, who I think is basically done at this point. I thought they were going to be a lot better, But give credit to where credit is due.
Dude,
I mean, the
no
Cardinals,
Kyler Murray,
yeah,
no DeAndre Hopkins,
and
no
still
AJ Green.
Still win.
Like,
don't
what?
matter. Don't matter. Next man up. Colt McCoy, Christian Kirk, no JJ Watt. They continue to get it done. They're a very scary team, 8-1. I get it. They're a young team. I still think it favors the Bucs, but everything that could happen in the Bucs' favor happened this week. The Rams were terrible on Sunday Night Football, which was shocking. Dallas lost.
On pins and needles.
New Orleans lost.
I was on pins and needles watching the Atlanta game.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I thought Atlanta was going to blow that game, honestly. And I've been really surprised by Matt Ryan's play. I mean, how
about Cordell Patterson?
I mean,
how about that guy?
How does Cordarrelle? Is it Cordarrelle or Cordell? I thought it was Cordell.
I think it's Cordell Patterson.
It's Cordarrelle. I thought it was.
Yeah, it was.
Well, I tell you right now, he's playing out of his mind, and I can't believe he's been on several teams, but he absolutely fits that offense and has put up big-time numbers, whether he's a wide receiver or running back. And if you have him in fantasy football, he's consistent.
He's killing. He's killing right now. Before I let you go, I'm gonna just comment on the Aaron Rodgers thing, man.
Sure, go for it.
This Aaron Rodgers thing is ridiculous. That is the proper word for it right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think, okay, let me just say this. I have some health issues myself, and I don't want to be around people that could potentially give me COVID and stuff like this.
Sure.
But just like I have my beliefs, you have your beliefs and everything else. Now, there's certain rules in place in the NFL, and I believe that you should follow the rules.
Correct. I mean, it's just that simple. Everybody can fight all day long, but, the National Football League, the problem is the NFL isn't consistent. A lot of people feel like Rodgers should be suspended for a couple games. I mean, the protocols are being put out there, and I'll read this to you. According to the National Football League, the Packers have been fined $300,000 for the COVID protocol violations. Rodgers and receiver Alan Lazard have been fined $14,650 each for attending the Halloween party while unvaccinated, according to the discipline schedule negotiated by the NFL and NFL Players Association. Per the league, the joint COVID protocols prohibit unvaccinated players from gathering outside the club facility in a group of more than 3 players. On top of that, how many press conferences did Rodgers come in with no mask on? It's not political, guys. It is an NFL rule.
And then you look at it, the receiver, both of his starting receivers were out for the game with COVID. And you're like, well, did it come from Aaron?
Right.
Where did it come from?
Who knows? Nobody knows.
And $300,000, that is a baby slap on the wrist for Green Bay.
Right.
$300,000 is absolutely nothing.
Right.
Absolutely. The only person who might got hurt from that $14,000 was Alan Lazard, or what's that kid's name?
Yeah, Alan Lazard. That's right. Yeah, Alan Lazard.
That $14,000 might have hurt him, but Rodgers is like $14,000. The situation with the Aaron Rodgers thing. Listen, I understand. Like I said, we all have our different opinions about the COVID thing. I still look at the Kyrie Irving thing. I think he's hilarious as well. But you have the right to voice your opinion.
Right.
But when it comes to mandates and protocols, you're not above the rules. You're not above the law.
Nobody is above the rules. Even,
absolutely.
Tom Brady has been suspended in this league for multiple games, and there was no evidence for it.
Evidence. Nope, none at all.
I mean, you don't know if he destroyed the text messages, what happened, but there's more evidence here than there is in the Brady case, and yet you suspend him. I don't get it.
Of course. And listen, I'm going back to what Harry was saying.
Yeah.
Look how smug Aaron Rodgers looks about it.
Oh yeah.
He doesn't even care.
Woke mob and all this other nonsense. I don't care about the political nonsense. I don't get into that on my show. It's just boring to me. I see a Facebook post of politics, and it makes me want to take a high-powered rifle and shoot myself in the brain. I almost said it. I almost dropped the F word there, and I didn't do it.
the thing about it is, it just is ridiculous.
Right.
That you can tell that it's like he's there to play this season. He's there to get paid.
Right.
He doesn't give a F.
No, he doesn't. And
At
again, that's the reason why he's never going to win another Super Bowl. He's not. I don't care. Ladies and gentlemen, you can tell me I'm wrong all day long, but the proof is in the pudding. He hasn't won a Super Bowl since he came into the league. And the reason why is because of his selfish actions. And on top of it, being one of the highest paid quarterbacks in the league, that's not a good look. It's not. If he took less, like maybe a Tom Brady, and people will kill me for this, for a Russell Wilson, again, going back to it, Russell Wilson gets hurt, but if you take less money, maybe you help out the rest of your team. Aaron Rodgers takes less money. Maybe you can get yourself a second wide receiver. We'll see what happens.
Sounds like Patrick Mahomes' contract to me, right?
Right. I mean, that could be a problem, but right now Mahomes is struggling.
Yeah. And Dallas is going to feel it too once that Zeke contract starts beating them over the head.
Every team feels it when you sign that major deal. I mean, that's a choice.
If Zeke and Prescott sign those huge deals, and
sure.
It's like, I don't know, man.
It's a tough thing because you look at the market, you look at how high paid quarterbacks are. But again, there's a blueprint out there, and I go back to it, and it's not because Tom Brady's the quarterback of the Bucs. It's because it's worked. It's worked consistently.
Absolutely.
So absolutely. I mean, I don't know what else. The proof is in the pudding.
Hey, listen, there's nothing like consistency.
Yeah.
It's going to be there every time.
Yep.
And you know what? That kid, I was watching that kid, Mac Jones, this weekend. That kid is pretty good. I like him.
I like him too. And I don't know why so many people hate on him, but the talking
heads.
With
Alabama. Well, nobody likes Alabama.
Well, nobody likes Alabama, but nobody likes a guy that is a pocket passer anymore. You got to be a mobile guy. You got to be Lamar Jackson. Well, let me tell you something. Not everybody's Lamar Jackson. Not everybody's Josh Allen. Not everybody is like that.
Speaking of Josh Allen, this Jacksonville loss for Buffalo, now that New England game is going to be a big game. That's going to be a big game.
I love it.
They I think Buffalo is 6-3, and I think New England is 5-4.
5-4. Yep. Yes, sir.
That's going to be a big game because man, if they could pull that out on Buffalo, they would have, I think, the division lead.
Yep. I agree. It's out there. It's all up for grabs at this point. Like I said, going back to it, it was the best bye week the Bucs could have had. Besides Arizona, everybody lost of significance. We'll see how it goes this second half of the year. Anything else, Curtis?
Man, nothing at all, man. You just have a great night, and I'm going to get ready to catch me some Z's. I have work in the morning.
All right, my friend. We'll see you on Sunday, all right? Brother. Yes, sir.
Go Buccaneers. Washington, we're coming to kick y'all behind this weekend. We'll see you soon.
All right, buddy. I'll see you on Sunday. We'll be live at Ducky's getting you ready here. Game is 4 o'clock, so we'll be on about 2:30. Definitely tune in. We'll have your pre, half, and post-game editions. Let's go back out to the comments, and we'll finish this Aaron Rodgers stuff. We'll get into Dalvin Cook, who could be in some hot water. Adam Schefter reporting. Is he trying to get fired? I don't know. We'll get into that. And then again, we'll take your phone calls, and I'll wrap it up for the night because I got another podcast I'm doing. This is not a podcast. This is the Evolution No Quarter Given podcast on the Buck Power Network with Jason Powers. We got that coming up at 11. We're going to record that. So we're going to take these comments, and then if we got no more phone calls, we'll wrap it up for the night, but we'll get into some more subjects here on the Sports Web. I missed you. Like always, let's go out to Troy Polamalu, King Troy, Trojan Legend SC, Cut Nagy, Trade Fields, not happening. Ruth the Truth says, hey, Harry, what's going on? He's gone now. Rodgers thinks he's slick. He only cares about being on the Pat McCrappy show. I like Pat. I like Pat's show. Like I said, refs are just doing their job, getting paid by Vegas. Bulls beat the Mavs by 10. Nice. Travis again. Beat Nets and Mavs in the same week. That's an accomplishment. Some talented players. Luka Doncic being the best player, one of the best players in the National Basketball Association, period. And then beating a Nets team that is Still has stars, still has a Kevin Durant, and still has a James Harden. So good for them this week. The Bulls learning how to win as a young team, putting it together. A lot of people doubted it. Lonzo Ball, we talked about it. Vukovic, plenty of guys on that team making it happen. Join NFL Supreme. Go ahead and add me if you want to. Only Bucs report would want to see J-Bu get hurt. They've been hating on Winston. I'm not ready to say that. I'm not ready to throw out allegations. Going back to the Rodgers stuff, because we've been killing it tonight. Didn't get a chance to talk about it, so I'm giving you my opinion on it. We talk about this article out of Pro Football Talk. As one source put it on Tuesday night, that's bullshit. Yeah, I said it. If, for example, someone engages in shoplifting twice a week, every week for 8 weeks, the person has committed 16 violations of shoplifting laws. There should be 16 penalties. Rodgers, however, got 1 penalty for attending the team's Halloween party, and the prior violations will go unpunished. I mean, that is where a lot of teams or a lot of NFL owners and general managers are upset with the National Football League. But it comes back to it. The NFL is not consistent. Going back to the penalty call on Monday night, according to NFL Senior VP of Officiating, Perry Fuel, he takes several steps toward the Pittsburgh bench, posturing toward their sideline. Taunting is a point of emphasis to promote sportsmanship and respect for opponents. This was recommended by the competition committee and coaches. So, okay. I mean, sportsmanship and all this other stuff. I mean, just, again, call a penalty on every freaking play. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Going out to Dalvin Cook. He insists he's innocent of abuse of a former girlfriend. In fact, a lawsuit was filed on Tuesday, accuses the Vikings running back of assault, battery, and false imprisonment during an altercation a year ago. Cook says, I just want to let everyone know that I'm a victim in this situation, and the truth and the details about the situation will come out at a further time via Courtney Cronin of ESPN. Gracelyn Trimble, 26, flew to Minnesota in November 2020 to break up with Cook and retrieve her belongings, according to the lawsuit. She accuses Cook of giving her a concussion, leaving a scar on my face, and taking me through hell. She's seeking unspecified monetary damages. He goes on to say, like I said, I don't want to get into further details about it. I know that the facts of the situation will come out and clear everything up that you all are trying to get answers to. So we'll see how that works out. Because coming into the league, we knew the reason why Cook was dropping to the second round. First round talent for problems off the field. I'm not ready to assume that he did anything in this case. But if he did, the NFL has to do something about it. They had to take a stand on it. So we'll see how that goes. Now, according to Adam Schefter, going back to Adam Schefter, and Schefter was saying this again on Pro Football Talk, I should have reported this better. I mean, how many cases of Adam Schefter have we saw this year with his reporting? And there was a rumor that he's trying to get fired from ESPN. Well, this would be a good thing to do here. I mean, this will be a good way to do it. In a case like this, it's important to reach out to all sides for information and comment. When I get the information the other night, I didn't do that. I don't know what you're supposed to do. You have one job, Adam Schefter, to get all sides of the story. And you didn't do that? What? And God, I don't mean to be judgmental because nobody's perfect, but if that's your job to get all sides of it, and then you go out and report it, I mean, with the whole allegation that came out this year with the evidence of him and how he answered to Bruce Allen from the Washington football team. I mean, this is a bad optic. This is a bad look. All right. Tell you what, let's go out to Ed here from Palm Harbor. Let me go ahead and get his walk-up music on. All right, Ed, go ahead. Welcome to the evolution of Sports Talk Television. What do you have to say, my friend?
Hey, what's going on?
What's going on, bud?
So you took a couple weeks off. You all refreshed, ready to get back into it?
Yeah, I took about a week off. I mean, I didn't take 2 weeks. It may seem like I took 2 weeks off, but I took a week off like everybody else, recharged the batteries, took out the dog, spent some time with Alexander.
All right.
Yeah, and did a lot of overtime.
I didn't know you have a dog. What kind of dog do you got?
Alexander. He's a Louisiana hunting dog, Catahoula and Domination. Yeah.
I have a mini pin.
Okay, cool. Very cool. Very cool.
So, there was something weird that I actually hit you up with last week that I heard on, that I actually saw on a page that was from Sports Report.
Okay.
No, it wasn't Sports Report. It was Leo Haggerty actually said something about it. And it was something about White involving possible Spygate investigation.
Yeah, no.
Or not Spygate, but
Bountygate. Yeah. I don't. It's that's fabricated stuff. That's nonsense. That's nonsense. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
I didn't hear anything
for the Bucs. Big distraction.
Yeah. Big time distraction.
You don't need right
and
now.
Excuse me, you're absolutely right. It is not. The game is not at 4:00. It is not. It's actually at 1:00. So we'll be on. Heck, I would say about 11:30. We'll try to get on as soon as possible. Thank you, Christopher Cole. There you go. That's why you don't take time off. 1:00. The game is on Sunday, so we will be on a couple hours before, giving your pre-half and post-game edition. Sorry, I didn't mean to freak you out. That's a good thing. All right, Ed, go ahead. What else?
The other thing is, we got some players back this week. Now, I also saw that they got a player they had on the team a couple of years ago, a wide receiver,
Rashard Perryman, who has not played in the league this year.
I mean, he's a good acquisition, but I think we need corners. Don't you think, my man?
Well, I mean, it looks like we're going to get Richard Sherman back this week. Sean Murphy-Bunting is going to come back, so that's a good thing. And again, they like what they have in that back end. And as long as that defense can, not commit penalties, I think you would be pretty satisfied with, the result of what this team has put together with all the injuries they've had on both sides of the ball. Would you not?
I like what they have. It's not that I don't like what they have, but I don't really hold a lot of stock in Richard Sherman.
Right.
Simply because I don't think he's a fit for this defense. He's more of a zone guy than a man-to-man guy.
Well, he made his bread and butter with man-to-man. I mean, yeah.
Because they keep saying that he was a zone guy. But anyways,
who told you that? That's
the other problem
Sherman.
is
the man-to-man
the
guy.
other problem is that the guy was only with us for a week and he got hurt. So I just wonder how that's going to go. If he's going to be injury prone, or is he going to be available, or what?
Again, I mean, it looks like he's going to be available on Sunday. We'll see. We'll update you when that happens, but it looks like he's going to play. Sean Murphy-Bunting may play. Carlton Davis, we still haven't heard anything. Looks like he's still, up in the air at this point. Antonio Brown, you would think once again, asking Leo Haggerty coming into the show, the reason why they sign a Rashard Perryman is because they don't necessarily think that Antonio Brown is going to play. And who knows? Rob Gronkowski, you sign Fells, who is a veteran tight end. So you would assume that Gronk is not going to play in this game. But eventually you're going to have everybody back. That's the amazing thing with it. With all the injuries, this team still manages to steamroll teams besides the Saints, of course, and losing to the Rams. But besides that, you have to be pretty satisfied. Once again, the second half of the year.
We're first place in our division. We're 6-2. I mean,
Right.
you can't ask for anything better.
Right.
Who was it that? The Falcons actually helped us out by beating the Saints.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't believe that one. I was like, wow. When I saw that score, I was like, no way. I had to take a double take on that. But,
Right.
Yeah. I mean, could you believe that the Saints fell to the Falcons? When you saw that, were you surprised?
I was very surprised, but you look at that quarterback situation and it's not great. Alvin Kamara didn't practice today, so they lose Kamara, but they have an opportunity, or they're playing the Titans. I mean, the Titans are coming off a big win. That's going to be a tough team to beat with that quarterback situation, and that defense definitely has to play better than they did versus the Falcons. That's for sure. If they give that type of effort against the Falcons team, you're not going to beat the Titans or anybody good in the National Football League. You're just not going to.
Yeah. How do you like the Bucs against Washington this weekend?
Well, you have to tune in to the pregame show, and I won't give everything away. How about that?
So it's a little too early to ask you that question.
Too early to ask me that question. I'll save it. I do say that this Washington football team, their defense has been very disappointing. And their back end is not very good, so that definitely favors the Bucs. It's going to be a tough game, road game, but I think the Bucs will be ready. They'll be prepared, and they'll be a lot more healthy than they were a couple weeks ago. That's for sure. I'll give you that, and we'll talk about it more on Sunday. What else, Ed?
I mean, I don't foresee it being a huge blowout like we did a couple weeks ago, but or not a couple weeks ago, but before the Saints game. But I believe the Bucs got this. But.
All right. Yeah. You're feeling confident, 7-2. It looks like the Bucs could do that, but they got to take care of business. And of course, you got to eliminate the penalties and you got to eliminate the mistakes that you had versus the Saints. And hopefully this could be a catalyst, if you will, of what they had to do the second half of the last year when they were 7-4 and they were struggling with penalties and they were struggling with turnovers and injuries. Now they've got that out of their system. Hopefully the second half of the year could be that much better. Again, it comes down to, for me, to get healthy. Good stuff, Ed. Anything else?
So one last thing. I saw you do an interview with a UFC female fighter.
Well, no, I'm going to correct you. It's Amanda Serrano, who is the unified flyweight world champion, 41-1 with 30 KOs. I did that interview. We're going to play that in just a little bit. Yes, go ahead.
Oh, okay. That was a great interview. You did a great job.
Thank you.
You're really moving up, man.
I appreciate it. Really moving up. I'm trying, man. Yeah. And guys like you that support the show make this happen. If not for fans like you to appreciate the work that I put out, then we wouldn't have what we have right now, which is the evolution of sports talk television. So I appreciate you.
No problem, man.
All right, man. Let me go ahead and fire those cannons right there. And we'll see you on Sunday on the pregame show. All right.
Okay.
All right. Appreciate you, Ed. There you go. Good stuff there. Read these comments, and then we may get out to that interview really quick because I know I wanted to cut this about 11. That's my fantasy running back, D. Cook. Christopher Cole thought the game was at 1. Correction, the game is at 1. Going back to the Adam Schefter stuff, I didn't do that. I could have done a better job reaching out to the other people, especially on the story as sensitive and as significant as this. Didn't do that properly, and it's a reminder to slow down in this world. Slow down. Slow down. Obviously, he wants to quicken the process of getting fired from ESPN. Article says it wasn't the issue of Schefter sacrificing being right in the name of being first, which is definitely a hazard in this specific. It was a case of carrying water for a source in order to preserve his maximum network of those who let him know about the transactions and contracts 5 minutes before they're announced, ideally before any other insiders get the text message. Hiller, who is the agent, wanted Schefter to blast the notion that Cooks is the victim to Schefter's massive Twitter following. Schefter did it in consideration for past scoops and in anticipation of future ones. Certainly seems like the guy wants to get fired and move on to somebody else. Maybe he does. We'll see. Tell you what, let's go out to these interviews really quick. got the opportunity from TJ Reeves, the great TJ Reeves, a Big Fight Weekend, to interview Amanda Serrano, the unified world champion. And of course, we got this. Titus O'Neil will come back here on the evolution of Sports Talk Television. Want to play these interviews, see what you guys think here. Enjoy. All right, I guess we're not getting any sound. I don't know what's going on with StreamYard tonight, but you'll just have to check those interviews out on the Sports Web. Wanted to play them, but it's not allowing me to do it, and I have no idea why, so we'll have to figure that out. We'll go ahead and finish it up here with this. Once again, we'll be back on Sunday here, about 11:30 for your pregame show, getting you ready for Bucs versus the Washington football team. It was good to hear from you guys again. We'll be back. Thanks to the great Leo Haggerty, former Coach Scout and now media member of Night Sports Productions. It's Sports Mag. And of course, Harry, the Greek professional handicapper, and Travis Faley of Rocket Sports and Entertainment. As you heard on Friday, I will be in the press box for the USF Cincinnati game, number 2 team in the country. So who knows? Maybe I will pop up on a Friday night after the game, giving you your post-game edition for USF versus Cincinnati. Do 3 things for me on this Wednesday night extravaganza of the evolution of Sports Talk Television. You ready? Write it down. Bring your passion. Bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. I'm your host, Peter Blake. Have a great night.
Stan Arthur here for the I Love St. Pete Facebook group. If you're a business owner looking to connect with tens of thousands of potential new local customers, you owe it to yourself to get enrolled in our Key Tag Rewards program. Since 2019, we've signed up more than 200 local merchants. Sponsor opportunities are available too, such as our group banner ad and even your own custom key tags. Just go to stpetekeytag.com, get enrolled, and get ready to get busy. stpetekeytag.com.